Congressman Mac Thornberry of Texas is the vice chairman of that committee. He joins me now live from Capitol Hill. Congressman, thanks for joining us. We've now confirmed that Bergdahl's travel arrangements to the U.S. have been finalized, but no return date is set. Do you share Congressman Miller's concerns that there's some other reason besides his health that Bergdahl is being kept in Germany right now?
Oh, I don't know. Actually, today's hearing, very little of it focused on Sergeant Bergdahl's condition or the reason or the circumstances around his capture. What we focused on with the Secretary was the national security decision that was made here. Was it a good deal for the security of the United States to trade these 5 Taliban for Sergeant Bergdahl? That was our focus.
Right, and the issue of sharing information about the transfer with Congress ahead of time, a very significant one at the hearing, and it evoked this exchange between Secretary Hagel and Congressman Mike Conaway. Take a listen.
I never said I don't trust the Congress. Those are your words.
No. Your actions say.
No, I didn't say it. You said I said it.
Your actions demonstrate, Mr. Secretary, that you do not trust Congress because you wouldn't tell the chairman and the ranking member something like this. Your actions say you don't trust Congress. I get it.
Congressman, Secretary Hagel said multiple times in the hearing that the administration could have handled sharing the information with Congress better. Was that enough of an answer for you? Do you think Hagel and the Obama administration didn't tell Congress because they didn't trust Congress wouldn't leak the deal and maybe try to stop it?
Well, I think there were probably multiple reasons. Maybe they were concerned about leaks, even though we get very sensitive information all the time. I think the bigger reason was when they first broached this deal back in 2011, Republicans and Democrats both said this is a bad deal. We don't want to release those 5 Taliban from Guantanamo. So they knew Congress was opposed on a bipartisan basis, and they chose to ignore the law. And this is a lot more than just, Congress getting its feelings hurt. There is a whole structure of oversight of the military and the intelligence community that depends upon getting timely, accurate information to Congress in order for us to do our job under the Constitution. And it is true, once that trust is eroded, then it calls into question all of this oversight structures that we've all come to depend on.
And, of course, the Pentagon and others in the government, and I'm sure the Congress as well, wants to know what Bergdahl learned while he was in captivity. Take a listen to this from Secretary Hagel.
This guy was held for almost 5 years in God knows what kind of conditions. We do know some of the conditions from our intelligence community, not from, by the way, Bergdahl. This is not just about can he get on his feet and walk and get to a plane.
How did you take that, Congressman? Did you take that remark that they haven't debriefed Bergdahl yet?
Yeah, I think the bottom line is physically he's fine, mentally and emotionally not so much. And so it has been hard to question him, and that's part of the reason that he's been in Germany for so long and part of the reason it's taken so long to debrief him. That needs to come in time. And in accordance with whatever investigation there is, if there are appropriate military sanctions or judgments that come from that, so be it. But the focus we've had is regardless of those things, regardless of him, what about releasing these 5 guys from Guantanamo? What about negotiating with terrorists? And what about violating the clear law that says you have to tell Congress ahead of time?
Speaking of the threat of these 5 Taliban members, listen to what both Hagel and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton said this morning.
These 5 guys are not a threat to the United States. They are a threat to the safety and security of Afghanistan and Pakistan.
The risks they pose to the United States, our citizens, and our interests were substantially mitigated.
What do you think the threat is of these 5 mid to high-level Taliban members, sir?
Well, what I know is that we've spent the last 13 years trying to take high-level Taliban commanders off the battlefield. And now, in a single stroke, we have put 5 of them back onto the battlefield, at least a year from now. So whether or not they will plot to attack us here at home, what we know is they will plot to attack American soldiers in Afghanistan. And the Secretary admitted in that hearing, we will have soldiers still in Afghanistan when these 5 guys can go back to Afghanistan and Pakistan. So it is a huge morale boost for the Taliban, and you can see that from their statements. It also replenishes their command and control, the depth of their leadership, and that adds to the threat to the Afghan government, absolutely, but also to our soldiers and other personnel that are trying to support the Afghan government.
Congressman Mac Thornberry, thank you so much.